Hi there and welcome to the RevOps Show. Today we are diving into a topic inspired by the one and only Bruce Springsteen, a topic on community. Unpack what a community truly is, what it takes to build one, and how to foster that sense of belonging. Doug and Jess lay down insights on communities that you aren't going to want to miss, so let's get on into the episode.
Jess.
Doug.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. A week ago, I had actually come to accept that this may never happen.
But it's happening.
But in the last week, it happened. And it's happening. So, knock on wood. Let me go get some salt. Throw that over my shoulder. 50.
50.
50, baby. You know what I realized?
What?
I got to get 6 more, in before October 19th. So I guess in the next year, I got to see him 7 more times.
Why?
Because then I'd be able to say that I've averaged seeing him once a year.
Oh my God. I don't have a good response to that.
Do you think that would be cool that I'd be able to say I've averaged seeing, I've seen him once a year for my entire life?
That would be cool. I feel like you keep moving the goalpost though.
Well, it's because I firmly believe that you've got to make your future bigger than your past. Right? You got to have something to look forward to, right, Jess? Right? You got to. Are you gonna
buy a tour jacket?
I already have a tour jacket.
Did you get one? Oh, okay. I got
one in 23.
Oh, okay.
So I got one on the first leg of the tour. These are rescheduled shows from 23. Yeah, we're at the point that for him or for us, you don't know when it's the last time.
I know.
So first off, Jess, I saw him Saturday night last night. Oh, by the way, you know what else today is?
What?
It's Friday the 13th.
Oh, it is Friday the 13th. Yeah. Wow. I didn't even catch that.
And it's pre-order day for new iPhones.
I knew nothing of that. I'm an Android user.
But anyways, so I saw him in DC last Saturday. I think we probably talked about it at least briefly in the last episode. I mean, first off, but I got this hat.
Yep.
Boy, you know what? I would be a multi-millionaire if I had taken the money I've spent with Apple or Bruce and just put it in an index fund. Now that
Boy, but you only live once, Doug.
That's
you
right.
You only live once, and you can't take it with you.
That's right. YOLO, baby. They sounded just great.
Yeah. How old is Bruce?
He's about to turn 75.
That's incredible.
3 solid hours. Again, I'll say it again. I had to sit down.
I told you it's healthy living, man. It's just healthy living.
I was playing air guitar. My forearm was getting tired. But anyways, the thing that was cool was this 2 fathers. They had their kid. The father right in front of me had brought his son, who's probably about, 7 to 9 years old, maybe 6.
Yep.
Which is about how old Drew was when he saw Bruce the first. I think he was 9. He probably saw him in 2006. Yeah, so he would have been 9.
Yep.
And I still remember we were at Hershey Park Stadium, and there's my 9-year-old, going Badlands. And the kids wearing the big headphones that I guess are the in thing. Yep. What happened to the good old days? Like for me, that I can barely hear now, but gosh darn it, I heard it when it counted. And Drew tapped the dad on his shoulder and said he's going to thank you in 15 years.
Nice.
And a big old smile came on his dad's face about that. Yeah. So that was very cool. But yeah, it took me back. He sounded like he did 20 years ago. I was 36 again, Jess. I was 36. That's still old, isn't it? What
No,
happened to the days when I was 16? Oh, it's not, but
it's not old. 36 is not old.
what happened to the days when I was 16? Yeah, the problem is when I was 16, I wanted to be 50.
Yeah,
Actually, I don't think
that's what
that's
you
true.
think.
I don't think I ever wanted to be 50. Probably
No.
40. Probably 40.
Yeah.
But you know what they say? 50
Youth
is
is
the new
wasted on the
20.
young.
Well, you know, they say only the good die young. So 56 must be young.
Oh.
Took that in a different direction, didn't I?
Yep.
Save that one. Save that one.
Yep.
So Drew, so Jess.
Yeah.
Have I met you before? What's your name again?
I'm Jess.
Nice to meet you, Jess. What act have you seen the most?
What act have I seen the most?
Yes.
Musical act. So it is a tie.
Could be a poet.
I'm gonna age myself. It's a tie between Green Day and Matchbox 20. Everybody's gonna be able to figure out the year I was born based on that data point.
Hold on a second. I have a problem that you referred to Green Day and Matchbox 20 as aging yourself.
I mean, I am a little bit though. Like, I have a friend who actually saw Green Day this week and said, "I hope everyone's knees are okay."
How many times have you seen them?
5 each.
Have you seen any other type of performer? Not an athlete like going to games, but Broadway show.
So I've seen Wicked 6 times now.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So I assume you're excited.
In like 4 different states. So it's been interesting.
Have you seen it in more than one country?
No, I've not seen it in more than one country.
Have you seen any show in more than one country?
No.
Have you seen any show outside of the United States? Have you
I
ever
have not
been outside
seen
of the United States?
I have.
Are you restricted? Are you restricted legally to stay within the legal boundaries of the United States?
In case anyone's curious, this is a Friday record. If that wasn't clear. No, I've never seen anyone outside the United States. Yes, I am excited about the movie. I'm both excited and very nervous. I don't know how I feel about them breaking it up into 2 movies. We'll see how that goes.
Movies? That's fucking stupid.
This is a part 1 and a part 2.
That's stupid. I hate. You know, they destroy what they say at Second City. I'm not going to say it. You know what I'm referring to, though, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Well, you know, so Divergent, which admittedly was not a good series of movies but they never did the last one because they split it up into 2. Hunger Games, the last 2 were horrible because they split it up into 2.
Well, and so the issue with Wicked is, so Act 1 is far superior to Act 2. From the songs that are in there to just the big ending is Defying Gravity. So that's what the first movie, they're doing it so they can end the movie on Defying Gravity. I know that's why, but it's like,
but that's not the story.
Well, the other thing is I'm really worried about how much crap they're going to fill.
Right. I mean, if you really want to do that,
I would much rather it be a 3.5 hour movie than split it into 2 movies.
How long was the play? The musical?
I think it clocks about, well, the problem is with intermission. So it clocks at about 3.5 hours with intermission. So it's probably about 3:10, 3:15. 3 hours and 10 minutes, 3 hours and 15 minutes.
So
but
my
you
bet
could cut.
My bet if it's 3:10, 3:15, they can make it 2:30, 2:45, and they could tell a story. I mean, tell a tight story. They're not doing this for storytelling. They're doing this for money grab.
Oh, I know. So that's my nervousness.
Have they filmed the second?
I think they have filmed the second.
Did they film the second like right after the first, or was
I think they filmed everything together and they've broken it into 2, from what I understand. Because I think the second one's coming out next year. I think it's coming out next year. So, yeah.
Make it a double album. Release both movies at the same time and make people pay 2 admissions for it or something. I don't know, but it's like it's one story. That makes me very, very, very sad.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm apprehensive. So I think what's going to happen is people are going to really like the first one. and people are not going to so much like the second one.
I'm
like,
sure,
I think that's
I'm sure they're going to like the
happen.
first one because there's so much buzz around it, and obviously I think the performances are going to be great. But still, it's like, well, okay, but it's not. I mean, the problem is, who's going to see the movie that doesn't know the story?
Very few people.
Right? I mean, it's The Wizard of Oz. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's The Wizard of Oz.
It's The Wizard of Oz told from the aspect of the Wicked Witch, but yes. Yeah.
Like I said, it's The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
So there's somebody with no brain. There's somebody with no heart. There's not?
That comes later, but yeah. But yes, those characters get introduced, but you don't know who they are until the second. So this is some of the issue. Like, you won't find out who they are. Is there a little dog named
Toto?
So I don't know because I haven't seen the movie. On the stage show, I'm pretty sure Toto is off stage. Like, you don't ever see Dorothy or Toto. This is before Dorothy shows up. This is the story of the Wicked Witch and the Good Witch in school.
Is this based on the Donna Summers? Like Donna Summers did it originally?
No. This is based on a book that was written in the early 2000s.
I thought they did. So there was the movie. Then I thought Donna Summers did a movie called The Wiz.
This isn't based on The Wiz. This is not Dorothy. This is actually
called The Wiz.
It's called Wicked.
Oh, it's called Wicked. Okay, got you.
Wicked.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the story of the Good Witch and it's the origin story.
Yeah. You can tell I've been paying a lot of attention to this.
You have. Clearly you've seen the show. I've seen the show 6 times, by the way.
I saw the Donna Summer movie when I was a kid in some fashion. I really wasn't. I associated her too much to disco.
Yeah. So I do think they're remaking The Wiz. I do think they're remaking that.
And you know, the problem is, so like, if you want to get Drew, like if you want to rile Drew up,
great!
Ask him if he wants to see. Ask him if he wants to see. Oh my God, I can't. A Good Life. No, not Good Life. Wait, what's the Jimmy Stewart movie?
Oh,
how am I going blank on that?
I'm going blank on it too. God damn it.
Not Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
No, I know. It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
I'm going to wait until we have drinks and then ask him that question.
Right. Because Christmas Eve, like, you know, there's no day in America that makes you feel more like, okay, we're different being Jewish than Christmas Eve. Right. Growing up.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we would, so on Christmas Eve, we would, you know, do our thing and we would finish each night. The kids initially liked it because it meant they got to stay up late. We would watch It's a Wonderful Life. But then they had to watch it and we turn off all the lights and all that. But then it was like they hadn't, and it was like we're watching it every year. It's like, hey, let's have one family tradition. They got to be adults, upper teenagers and adults, and holy cow, they just rebelled against that.
I love that movie.
I do too. But again, it was one of those. So like every year, Wizard of Oz was on, and every year I had to watch Wizard of Oz whether I wanted to or not. So like I don't have the fondness for it that I know I should.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, everybody, this actually connects to what we're talking about today.
It does.
All right. So let's go back. Let's go back to the important stuff.
Bruce. There it is.
So I was at the show last Saturday, and I thought, this is what a community is.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about communities, Jess.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
I want to start in the beginning. It all started on a dark and stormy night. We established that dark and stormy night was in January for the start, right?
Correct. That's what we established. Think that maths.
Well, when you hear the word community, what do you think? What comes to mind?
I think of a place of where I feel welcomed, of like-minded individuals. That's what I think of when I think of community, which might not be an accurate statement.
Why do you say that? Well, first off, it's accurate because the question was, what do you think of?
What do I think? Okay,
so
well,
if that's what you think, then that would be like, you're the only person that would tell us if that's accurate. But in terms of it being whether that's accurate about what a community is, why do you say that might not be accurate?
The like-minded individuals piece, I don't know.
So I'll share with you that unfortunately, when I hear the word community right now, what I think is hype.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
Right. But then why? Because community-led growth.
Yeah.
Grow your community. What's the difference between a community and a group?
Oh. So I think with a community there's
Looking
participation.
weird. Yes. Sorry.
What's
Go on.
that?
So you think group is above community?
No. I think community is above group. Did I say group? So when I think of community, I think there's actual participation.
Oh, okay. I thought you said when you think of group, there's actual participation.
I might have, but I meant community. When I think of community, I think there's participation. There is driving towards a goal is like too big to me in my mind, but like there is genuine enjoyment and camaraderie.
So I think what makes a community is there's personal identification. There's symbolism.
Yeah.
Your church is a community for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. 100%.
I mean, you guys have it's like being a third base coach.
Like I said, participation, Doug. Participation.
The priest is the third base coach, right? The priest gives the signals, and then everyone gives the signals back. Right? Oh, is that I'm going to hell, aren't I, Jess?
No.
Or put another way, I'm going to the bad place, aren't I?
The bad place. We might all be going to the bad place.
It's that almond milk. It's that almond milk that I drank. For the record, I don't drink almond milk. I don't really like it. Because so you said like what you're not sure about on community is the common,
the like-mindedness.
The like-mindedness. So what is like?
Well, so to go to an extreme, if you think about politics, like who you're voting for is a like-mindedness. So like your party that you identify with is your views.
So if you're voting for racer X,
yeah,
and someone else is voting for racer X,
mm-hmm.
Does that make you a part of the same community?
I guess not necessarily. No.
Yeah. So I think that. Well, here's what's interesting. Do you know what ChatGPT says makes a community a community?
What?
A community is defined by several key characteristics that create a sense of belonging, shared purpose, and mutual support among its members.
Mm-hmm.
So, shared identity and interests,
mm-hmm.
social interaction, interdependence and support, boundaries. That's something I want to get at.
Okay.
Shared norms and values, collective resources, sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Because I the way a lot of people define community with community-led growth, I oftentimes, my favorite thing is that, so what's the difference between that community and people who go and shop at the same grocery store? Are the people who go to that grocery store, are they part of the same community? Now, in a broad sense, they probably are, because who goes out of their literal community, out of their geographic community? Like I don't drive into Washington, D.C. You know what?
Yeah.
At one time, I think Whole Foods had a community because people would go out of their way.
Yeah.
And again, what I say is, like, I think one of the key elements is shared identity and interests.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's missing in here? And maybe it's maybe it falls under the social interaction or shared norms and values.
What's that?
I think a community has rituals.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, and then I said I wanted to talk about boundaries. Right. So one of the things that to me, who you're voting for president doesn't make a community, and a lot of times your political identification doesn't make communities. I don't think you have boundaries. There's no rules, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm part of the, like, I mean, here's a question here's the ultimate to know. Do you have a community? Will people wear you on their head?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. I mean, this is a badge for me.
Right.
I paid. I don't even like. It's a snapback hat, Jess. I hate snapback hats. right? Um, and you know, I wear hats all the time. You probably
Yep.
never noticed that, but I do. And I tried going with Bruce Springsteen beanie, but when I put on a beanie, especially in the wrong circumstance, my head really looks really, really domey. So I kind of don't love it. But I'm like, you know, how do I not have a Springsteen hat? Right?
Yeah.
I've got Springsteen shirts. I've got a Springsteen tour jacket.
Yep.
Right? That's so that's symbolism, right?
Right.
But here's the thing. Like, there's no question that Springsteen's audience skews left.
Mm-hmm.
But we were on the elevator coming out of the part where we parked.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking to the people that were on the elevator because it was pretty clear we were all going to the Springsteen show. They had come down from New Jersey. For some reason, they thought I was from Philadelphia, even though I told them where I was from. But they kept saying, "Oh yeah, we used to live in Philadelphia." And I'm like, "Okay, that's really great. I don't know what the hell that has to do with what I just said." But like, that was fine, right? There are times that probably would have bothered me, but it's, you know, we're not going to talk about your political, like we're Springsteen. Like, our political affiliation that day was we're Springsteen.
Doesn't matter.
Like, it was Bruce Springsteen. It was 3 hours. It was, hey, this might be, you know, we both made it. You know, I think he was a little bit older than me. Everyone looks a little older than me. That's near my age now. So, but it makes me feel better when I go, oh, he must be older than me. I think he was. But we both, you know, we're both like, yeah, hey, you know, this might be, you know, we're getting to this stage. You never know when it's the last time.
Right.
You know, so we had a little conversation. It kind of freaked out my wife because I'm not someone who has conversations with total strangers with no context. But we had context, right? We were there for Springsteen.
Well, so it's funny you bring that up because I'm similar to you. I do not frequently have interactions with strangers in public places. So attached to will you wear it on your head and what you just talked about. I mean, my biggest community is the Disney community.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I do what you just talked about at Disney World, and it totally freaks Swan out because he's like, you don't interact with people like at the grocery store or just in everyday life when we're out and about unless you know them. But we go to Disney and like, I start striking up conversations with folks. I make friends in line.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because my sense about a place like Disney is Disney has people of the community and outside the community.
Yeah, but you can spot somebody who's of the community. But you can spot
right there are signs, there are tells.
So Jeremy on our team, I had a Disney backpack at our offsite, and he's like, "How many of those do you have?" And I was like, "I have a lot." But that's because I'm part of that community, right?
Right, and so the thing is, you know, I also talked about those rituals because the thing that made me what triggered my thought about community.
Mm-hmm.
You ever go to a game or something and they play that stupid freaking song, "I Can Make Your Hands Clap," and everyone goes,
"Oh yeah."
Right.
Yeah.
Or, I forget the other thing where, you know, you clap, you know, and they do all those things to clap, and I do not do them. I do not do it. I'm like, I am not going to be manipulated by the man to clap on command.
But you're such a you're a sports fan, but you're such a baseball fan.
Well, to me,
mm-hmm.
Right, there are some other people who don't do it too. You know who they are? They're baseball people.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think people talk way too much at baseball games.
I agree with that.
A, they show their ignorance, and B, pay attention. I had people sitting behind me. I mean, first off, they were loaded beyond loaded.
Yeah.
They were yapping inappropriately in many ways, which was both funny, but also it got to the point where I wanted to turn around and tell them to shut the, you know what up, shut the fork up.
Yep.
See what I did there, Jess?
Back to the bad place.
Bringing a little good place, right? And I'm like, you paid how much money to be here for the show?
Yeah.
Like, why? But so one of the reasons that I don't do it at a baseball game is because, to me, like, that you're taking away from the baseball game.
Yeah.
Right. To me, there's a big difference between the genuineness of cheering and this manipulation of, okay, we've got to fill the silence between pitches. But Springsteen starts doing this, and I'm doing this, and he sings this part, and I sing that part, and I'm like, Now, some of that is just the power of music, right? I mean,
Right.
I think things like music bring, as a matter of fact, I'm listening to a really interesting book right now. Things like music bring brain patterns together and people become more like-minded in that.
Mhm.
But one of the things I can honestly say has never come up in a Springs, like we do not ask about, like, I don't talk to anybody that, if we're talking about Springsteen, I don't talk to anybody about what's their political affiliation. We talk about Springsteen. Like there's a rule. We have boundaries of where we go. We're in a Springsteen world. This is what we do. And no one's written those rules that I'm aware of, but it's just, we're here for this. Now, in a Springsteen case, a lot of that I think is led by the leader, right? But I do think that's the place where, okay, let's get political, and I'm not, actually I don't care. So the ultimate cat lady,
Yep.
endorsed Kamala, and I mean, forget my favorite thing is all the the Republicans who are all saying she's going to pay for that in the marketplace, and they're all saying why it's, and of course, had she endorsed the other way, they'd all be running around. But outside of that, hypocrisy, etc. The fact is, if you're trying to build community, and what drives you is that people will disagree with you, this gets to one of our core components about good messaging. If I can't hate what you do, I can't love what you do.
Yeah.
Right? Are you trying to build a group, or are you trying to build a community?
Yeah.
Right? And so what is it that okay, it was Lin-Manuel Miranda who said it, but he said it as Alexander Hamilton. What did he say to Aaron Burr? If you stand for nothing,
what do you fall for? Yeah.
Right. What will you fall for?
Yeah.
Or as I've heard, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything.
Yeah.
Right. If there's nothing, I was talking with somebody about Outbound, and I said, look, here's the problem, because they were talking about, what are the problems? And I think we were at the 11th problem before I was able to get a word in edgewise. And I said, look, we've got to narrow it down, because if I can't say no, I can't say yes.
Yeah.
You've heard me talk about it. I talk about it. It's like trying to sell Jell-O, right? If I can't push back on you and have resistance to come back to create, like, Jell-O just absorbs all the energy.
Right.
So there's got to be a shared identity. There's got to be boundaries. There's got to be shared norms that basically say, what do we stand for? Right now, it has to be, selfless.
Yeah.
Right. I think you can dream about the idea that one day someone will wear my name or my group or my whatever on a hat on their head. But I think if you go out and you start saying, okay, what am I going to do so that, I don't think, I think your odds, like you have a better chance of getting a blip in the short term, but you have no chance of it sticking.
That's really interesting, and I hadn't thought of it that way before, because if you think about, like, if you go back to the Bruce Springsteen, like, the reason Bruce does what he does is not so you'll buy his hat. I mean, he's probably very happy that you bought his hat, but that's not why he does it. Like,
I don't think he knows. I'm actually very disappointed. I don't even think he knows I bought his hat. I'm hoping that maybe someone will point out this podcast. Hi, Bruce.
But that's not why he does what he does. Like,
well, so this is interesting too, because I think I think the reason that Bruce Springsteen does what he does is because that's who he is.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I think makes artists. Like the thing that I hate more than anything is it art or is it science? And I'm like, they're the same thing. Art is science. Science is art. I think the artist is pushing the boundaries. Well, you know what? Every great product is a product that was built for a creator. They don't have to be the one who created the product necessarily, but someone had a real problem that was deeply understood, and someone solved that problem, and that problem was big enough that other people had that problem, and they began to say, "Oh, I want that too."
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure the first Band-Aid was someone put a piece of tape over some gauze. And someone, oh, wow, instead of this huge bandage. And someone said, oh, wow, I like that. And before you know it, someone said, oh, well, we can manufacture that.
Yep.
right? I don't know. There's that's the first product launch, the Band-Aid.
So talk to me about how if your goal is to get somebody to wear the hat, like how does that how does that connect to community led growth and what we're seeing in people
think it
trying to grow
doesn't. I
community?
think you can't make the goal. Like I don't think it's very zen. I think if you want to build a community, I don't think your goal can be build a community.
Oh, interesting.
And that's my problem with community-led growth. The way we talk about community-led growth is we're gonna create a Slack channel. Now, by the way, because people are using a Slack channel, does that mean that you're a community?
No. That makes you a group.
We are going to Jess, congratulations. You're a community manager. You are responsible for generating 375 leads per month. Okay, no, that makes me a demand gen manager.
Right.
Now, if I build a community, should I generate leads? Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
But again, those are all byproducts of community, because again, to build community, to create community, to be a creator of community, it has to be selfless, because the community, I don't go to Bruce for Bruce. I go to Bruce for me.
Yeah.
Right. So Jess, Sunday morning, my bio changed. Bio on our website.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. Because I hadn't seen Bruce 48 times. I'd seen him 49 times.
Yeah. And then it'll change.
There's a pretty good bet that tomorrow morning,
it's going to change again.
It's going to say 50.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, salt over the shoulder. I forget which shoulder I have to. Right. I take an identity in that. I was at the doctor's appointment, and they're like, this morning, and they're like, "Are you doing anything interesting this weekend?" And I said 50. She's like, "Huh?" And I shared that I'm going right. So like, there's that, like that happened for me.
Yeah.
Right. I go ahead. I'm not someone that gives into the crowd often, but I give into the crowd. Why? In a lot of ways, it's the ultimate sign of respect. It's when I'm there, I'm not 56 years old. I'm not any age.
Right.
I'm not thinking about the proposal. I'm not thinking about, did this close? I'm not thinking about, like, I get transported to a place. There's a joy that's there. That's what the Bruce Springsteen community. That's what the Bruce, like, to me, community and tribe. I think those are. Tribe is a community that's elevated to its extreme, but I think that a community has, is tribal, and a group is not. A group is transactional. A group is functional, right? Yep. I think businesses need to build communities, and I think one of the places where, now again, I don't like, my problem with half of these things is, it was called inbound marketing. It was never called inbound led marketing.
Oh yeah.
I think I liked it. I think if it had been called inbound led marketing, I think it would have been full buzzword, and I probably would have resisted it.
Right.
I did resist it for a little while, because it's kind of like, this idea that people were running around like it was this brand new thing that just got invented. I felt like I was back in high school where someone said, "Did you hear about this new band, ZZ Top?" Yeah. I went to high school in the 1980s, not in the 1960s. If I had gone to high school in the 1960s and someone had said, "Did you hear about this new band, ZZ Top?" that at least would have been legitimate, because they were a new band in the 1960s. They were not a new band when Sharp Dressed Man came out.
Right. Yep.
And so there's that, I get unhealthily bothered by those things, but you need to build community, which means, one of the founding philosophies I had when I started the company was, if a company is successful and the community that it is within has not gained an equal growth of success, then the company was not successful, right?
Yeah.
So there has to be, we work very, very hard. I think what a community, I think that the elements required for community
Mm-hmm.
are point of view, value creation,
Mm-hmm.
consistency, and time.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. I wasn't
I
expecting
mean,
time to be in there.
I hadn't defined this before this conversation, but I think those are the
Yeah.
things: point of view, value creation, consistency, and time. I think the fastest way to kill community is to put a bunch of metrics.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now, does that mean you don't measure? No, it doesn't mean that. But you've got to be building community. Like if you're building community can have great return, it doesn't have great return in short term.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, first off, especially today, there's a lot of competition for community. You know what? Your community member is giving in return for community?
Time.
More something even more valuable than time.
Attention.
Attention.
Yeah.
The scarcest resource on the planet.
Yeah.
They are giving attention. I am paying attention. By the way, Jess, I bought my tickets, not the ones I'm going to tonight, but for the show that I saw last week. I bought those tickets 18 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And to buy those tickets, I put a meeting on my calendar so I was free.
I remember
15 minutes before they went on sale to 15 minutes after.
so you could get in. Yeah.
By the way, the episode of Big Bang Theory where they're trying to get Comic-Con tickets.
Was that you for Bruce?
That was on last night when I was
Oh.
I haven't seen it on TBS last night, and I'm like, yep, that's me for Bruce. That's
Yeah.
And like the show was supposed to be September of 23. He had peptic ulcer rescheduled for a year. I mean, I could have sold those tickets for 5 times the value and probably bought them back.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, no, I sat there and let Ashley was funny when I told her she said, oh, so it's like the tickets are free, right? Because you paid for it so long ago that, it feels like you're not paying for it.
That's how I felt for the Backstreet Boys show that I bought for 2020 that got rescheduled. I was like, well, this is basically free at this point.
Right. I said, no, not so much. They were still pretty.
Yeah.
Freaking,
yeah.
But right. So that's what community is. And the thing is, community doesn't ask much of the member.
Yeah.
So you know what? I have a fifth component or sixth. How many components did I have?
4. Point of view, value creation, consistency, and time.
Agency.
Yeah.
I get to be myself.
Yeah.
By the way, I have, I did some video while you'll hear Drew in like 3/4 of the video as he's screaming every word to every song. And again, that's community. And you know what? No one's trying to go, what? I'm singing and I sing for shit, Jess. So
not to be trite, but it kind of sounds like you're saying if you build it, they will come, right? Your focus needs to not be to have that community, but you need to build something that has a purpose around it, and then the community will follow.
I mean, I think the reason that you measure is to feed what you're building. Yeah. But I mean, if you look like today, we just got a lead from somebody who, basically said, they got our name from executives at HubSpot, like C-suite executives at HubSpot. We've cultivated some great relationships with people. I've never even thought about C-suite executives at HubSpot referring business to us. Yeah. Right? I'd love it if hey, by the way, C-suite at HubSpot, we're here. We're available. We have capacity. But that came from, I think I give to HubSpot a great amount. And I would say on balance, I think I give more than I get because what I get, I can get in other places. Yeah. I think that for me, there was a time where HubSpot represented a professional community for me. It's less so, right? By the way, it's less so because I think that their point of view is less so. Like I don't know what I either don't know what they stand for, or I'm not so in alignment.
Yeah.
Right. So and again, and by the way, I'm not saying that they should be building a community for me. That's their choice to make.
Right.
But I would say, and I'll still say that the HubSpot partner community and the HubSpot partner channel came to HubSpot completely accidentally, and I see this happen time and time and time and time again. Everyone has seen what the HubSpot partner ecosystem, the value that is created, and they all come out looking to create that. I've said it before, and I'll say it, I'm sure, many, many more times. If HubSpot had come out with the intent of their partner program to do what their partner program did, it never would have happened. As a matter of fact, it happened despite HubSpot's desires. Brian Halligan admits on more than one occasion he tried to kill it.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And certainly didn't feed it.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that's happened is it's gone from being this thing that two people, two passengers in the night with mutual philosophies and aims, to now it's like, we want you to do X. And look, it's become far, far more transactional. Is that the wrong thing to do? No, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think it's the wrong thing because it's happening not from intent.
Yep.
I think the advantage the community gives is the community provides a moat. Community builds a moat, right? People because they become of your community before they become prospects. They become of your community before they become suspects, before they become prospects. There's an emotional tie. There's an identity. There's a feeling of safety.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think that's why community is worth investing in. But I think if you're going to build community, take a community mindset to it.
Yep.
Be Bruce. Yep. Be Mr. Beef. Just be on like a, top award-winning television show. That's all you need to do to run a successful business. No, but you go to Mr. Beef, right? And it is of the show. Like it stands for something. There are people that I'm sure don't like it.
Yep.
Right. But if I can't love you, if I can't hate you, I can't love you.
I really liked what you tied together on focus on point of view, value creation, consistency, time, and agency, and that'll build the community around you.
Yep. I think that I think this is where RevOps can be instrumental, but I think that you've got to take some of the hard part for RevOps on this is you've got to take key elements. There's an underlying discipline and we've talked about a value mindset. I don't mean like value creation. I mean like a no bullshit, no fluff mindset. Let's be disciplined. I think this is a place where what was it? I can't remember if it was the guy from Unreasonable Hospitality or Danny Meyer. I think it was Unreasonable Hospitality. He had his 95-5 rule. He said, we manage to the penny on 95% of what we do, so that 5% of what we do, we don't have to think about it. We don't think about it. And that's where we do things like that's where our reputation gets built, because we go out and we buy something for somebody that's outrageous, but we can do that because of that. I think this is a place where RevOps needs to be involved. I think they can bring that discipline, but they have to bring that very different mindset. And if they do that, then they're saying no to shitty RevOps.
Until next time.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the RevOps Show. Remember, community will come if you build it, but don't go into it thinking your main goal is to create a community. The community is a byproduct of the environment that you're going to create. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, follow Doug, Jess, and Lyft on LinkedIn, and make sure you're subscribed to the podcast on your favorite listening platform. You can also subscribe to our new YouTube channel for the video version of the podcast at the RevOps Show. If you have any inquiries about the show or any questions you would like to ask Doug and Jess, email me at hannah@liftenablement.com. And until next time, just say no to shitty RevOps.